So you guys asked for a fat loss video, so I'm going to do my best to break it down and simplify it for you. Before we even get into fat loss, we need to understand what fat loss is, what a calorie is, and how it works. And before we get into that, I'm going to tell you what a TDEE is, or total daily energy expenditure. You're going to need to know this before you go into anything else. You might be thinking, what is your total daily energy expenditure? So this is your amount of calories burned daily by accounting three major factors. This is your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, your activity level, and the thermic effect of food. But don't worry, I'm going to go into it quickly. Right here, BMR. This is your basal metabolic rate, and this accounts for 70% of your calories burned. So, what is your BMR? So your basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body burns by just being your body. So this is just doing your basic basal life-sustaining functions to keep your body alive and running. So it's also commonly known as your resting metabolic rate, and the best way to think of it is the amount of calories burned by just lying in bed all day and doing nothing. That is actually, surprisingly, your biggest chunk of your TDE, and accounts for the most calories burned a day. Surprising. Second up on my wonderful whiteboard is NEAT, and this accounts for 15% of calories burned. So NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Sounds complicated, is not complicated. So essentially this is any unplanned movement: walking up the stairs, getting into bed, having a shower, walking to the shops, playing with your dog, picking your nose, brushing your hair. Any calories that are burned by doing any unplanned exercise. So that's the actual next biggest chunk of calories burned. Not planned exercise, unplanned exercise. So the next time you drive to the shops, maybe think about parking just a little bit further away. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. This all accounts and helps your NEAT. So the next one on my wonderful whiteboard is TEF, and this is the thermic effect of food. Surprisingly, when you eat, your body burns calories by digesting, absorbing, and metabolizing it. And a lot of people seem to not realise this, but that is the next big part of the TDE. This is the next big chunk of calories burned. It accounts for 10% of your calories burned a day. And a fun fact, protein is a high TEF food, so you burn more calories when you eat protein. So that's just another reason to get your protein intake in. And finally, on my whiteboard, EAT. And no, that doesn't mean what you think it means, you greedy fuckers. EAT is exercise activity thermogenesis, and that only accounts for 5% of your daily calories burned. So exercise activity thermogenesis is planned activity. Going to the gym, it's your planned exercise. Going for a run, going for a walk, going swimming. Surprisingly, it only accounts for 5% of our calories burned a day. That is a ridiculously low amount. So next time you think you can burn off your food or make up for a bad week of eating or trying to out-train a bad diet, you can't. So surprisingly, it accounts for very little. So keep that in mind. What is a calorie? A calorie is a unit of energy. That's it. There's no good calories, there's no bad calories. Doesn't matter whether it's come from a piece of broccoli or a donut, there's just more nutrient dense foods and less nutrient dense foods. A calorie is a calorie, there's no good, there's no bad, there's just different nutritional values in different foods. But a calorie is still a calorie, no matter where it's coming from. What is weight loss? Weight loss is all about energy balance, and so is weight gain, but we're talking about weight loss right now. It's about energy in versus energy out. So you must think of it as the calories you consume and the calories you burn. That's it. If you are consuming far too much energy, calories, than you burn, you're going to be in a surplus. If you consume less calories, energy, than you burn, you're going to be in a deficit. So you're going to be burning more than you're consuming, meaning you're going to be tapping in to your deposits, your fat deposits, your calorie deposits, and you're going to be using them up. That's it. This is my bucket of water. So I want you to think, I have a hose going into the water. Now, if I've only got a small hole that's letting out a small amount of water, this is going to overflow. That's your calorie surplus. Now, if I make, so the water level right now is here and it's overflowing. Now, if I was to make a bigger hole and now all my water's coming out, my water level is going to drop. This means at some point, I'm going to be burning, losing more than that's going in. This is what causes calorie deficit. How do you create a calorie deficit? How do you track it? What do you do? There are plenty of calculators online. I'm not going to go into that here. Google is your best friend here. Go on to calculator. If you're having trouble finding your deficit, message me. I will help you. I just don't want to make this video too long. Find your maintenance. You can find your deficit, and then you can find your surplus as well. Once you've got that, I always advise starting small with a calorie deficit. I start around 250 calories with my clients, and then you've got room to increase the deficit as and when needed. If you start too big, you've got no wiggle room, and it makes it a lot harder. So start small and increase as and when needed, but you're not going to need to increase for a while. How do you track? There are plenty of apps out there. There's MyFitnessPal, NutriCheck, MacroFactor. There's lots of apps where you can track. It's very user friendly nowadays. Just scan the barcode, tracks your food. There you go. It's very easy. I am very, very much an advocate for tracking your calories. It's a very good way to educate yourself on what is actually in food and how much you're consuming on a daily basis. It will be very eye-opening for you. And it's just a very simple way of keeping accountable of things and not overcomplicating it. You can add your own recipes, you can build your meals, you can pre-plan for the day or week like I do. You haven't got to faff about, and it just makes it very easy, and you know where you stand on a day-to-day basis. Don't use phone, write it down. It's easy. I've had clients who also don't write it down and kind of just eyeball things. They keep a kind of mental note of where they're at with their food, and they've got an idea of how much they've consumed and what they've got left. There's plenty of ways of doing things. Some people just aim to eat more healthy, because when you aim to eat more healthy, you take out a lot of the more nutrient dense foods, calorie dense foods, and aim for more nutrient dense foods. So when you swap out more processed foods, pizzas, donuts, cakes, for more nutrient dense foods, veg, fruit, it's more nutrient dense and it's more high in volume as well. So you get more for less calories, meaning you get full quicker on a smaller amount. So this is why people tend to drop a lot of weight when they make this switch, because you're eating a lot more for a lot less. But people tend to think they're eating more, but they're not. They're eating more volume but consuming less calories. And I'm going to mention this here. Fasting is a good tool to use for weight loss, but it's not a hack. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't increase autophagy. It is just as good as a normal calorie deficit. You're not doing this secret hack by not eating till 1-2 o'clock. Hell, I go most days with fasting and consume nothing until my lunch. It's kind of just what I do. I prefer operating on an empty stomach. It doesn't make me any better or any worse than anybody else. You're just decreasing your eating window. So every hour you extend in your fast, you're extending the window you're not eating and decreasing your eating window, hence creating a calorie deficit. It's all it is. So everyone that's preaching, oh, fasting this, fasting that, oh, I fast. You're not eating. That's it. You're not eating breakfast. You're moving your dinner back. It's nothing special. You're not eating. Let's call it that. For an example, my whiteboard. Say my maintenance is 2,500 calories. And I'm going to start off with a small deficit of 250 calories. These are the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't think I really need to explain that to you, did I? So this would be my daily calories with my deficit. So 2,250 as I'm starting on a small deficit. So say, I want you to think about this like you're budgeting with money. So think about you trying to save for something. Say you're going out on the Saturday. You're going out drinking, partying. I don't know what you do with your life, but that's what you're doing. You, if you know you're going out somewhere, might save or budget 100 calories a day from the Sunday before up until that day. So if you were to take 100 calories off your daily allowance, so to speak, that would leave you with 2,150. Quick maths. And you'd have an extra 600 calories. So that would leave you with 2,850 calories for Saturday. So you'd have more calories, more of a budget, a bigger budget to play with for when you go out drinking, for fast food, whatever, a meal. Now, if you wanted something more aggressive, you could take off 200 calories a day. So that would leave you with 2,050 calories for the day, and you're putting 200 calories a day in your pot or your savings up until this day. So you'd have extra, and you would have 3,450, so you'd have a bigger budget or savings to play with on your night out or your day or your events, whatever. So that's the way I like to try and teach my clients. Think of it as money, think of it as a daily allowance. So you get your daily allowance, and then you want to think of your weekly allowance as well. So you could overeat on one day, and then you could take it down the next to account for it. But as long as you're still in your weekly budget, you're okay. So you could go over one day, down the next, and then you could level it out. So doesn't matter what you eat really, it's just staying within your budget. So I hope that makes sense. Can you spot target fat loss? No, you fucking can't. I'm sick of saying this to people. You can't spot target fat loss, and you can't tone. Oh, I hate that word with a passion. You can lose weight and you can build muscle. I'm not going to say lean muscle, because all muscle is lean muscle. You might just have some more body fat there. You can't spot target fat loss. You can't get rid of belly fat. You can't target under your arms. When you are in a calorie deficit and you lose fat, it comes from all over. I tend to lose it on my legs first and then my chest. Someone else might genetically lose it somewhere else first. As women, we tend to hold fat on our upper thighs and our stomach because we have reproductive organs. Men tend to hold it on their back, their lower back and sides genetically. We can't help genetics and we can't fight it. It was put there for a reason. It was put there to protect us. You can't spot target. You've got to lose it all over. Stop saying that. And crunches aren't there's no exercises to help to tone your stomach. You can't do crunches and lose weight. It doesn't work. You want to know the secret to fat loss? Here's your fundamentals. Calorie deficit is number one. Don't care how you do it. You can track, you can do keto. Keto only works, by the way, because carbs tend to hold a lot of water. You remove carbs from your diet, you're going to lose a lot of water weight. That's it. You can fast, aka not eat. You can do it whatever way you want, but calorie deficit is your number one. You cannot lose weight any other way. I don't care what anyone says. It is science. It is proven. It is energy balance. If you eat in a surplus, you're going to gain weight. If you eat in a deficit and you burn more than you consume, you're going to lose weight. Fat is adipose tissue. That's all it is. Stored energy. That's it. You don't consume a lot of energy, you're going to tap into your deposits. That's it. You're going to use your stored energy. It's not hard. Calorie deficit, recovery, sleep. You cannot sleep. You cannot expect to maintain a healthy lifestyle in general without adequate recovery, especially if you exercise as well. We need our sleep as human beings. It's vital for bodily functions and organ functions as well. We can't function on no sleep. Water. 99% of the population don't drink enough. You should be aiming to drink at least 2 litres of water a day, not coffee, not tea, not fizzy drinks or soda for Americans. Water, the liquid, the clear liquid stuff that we need physically. You know, it's kind of something we need. It's kind of based on our survival, really. Water. Those are your top 3. I would add in exercise after you've nailed the first 3. That, as I talked about in the first clip, only accounts to 5% of our daily calories burned. It's not the be all and end all, and it's not the epitome of weight loss. Sorry, I knocked my light. It's not the epitome of weight loss. You can lose weight very easily as long as you've got the first 3 in check. You don't need to exercise. But as a staple, I think every human should be moving in some way. We are born to move. That's why we have legs and arms. We are not designed to sit down and watch Netflix all day and be on our phones scrolling all day. We're not designed for that. Just to maintain a good, healthy lifestyle, we should be moving. And exercise does reduce a lot of diseases and just help. It benefits us in lots of ways. But you don't need it for weight loss. I've had plenty of clients who have had arthritis, fibromyalgia, who have just got their first 3 in check and lost a lot of weight. So it's not needed. Supplementation is the bottom of the list. You don't need supplementation until you've got those first 4 in check. There's no weight loss capsule. Leave Ozempic for the fucking people that need it, unless you are clinically obese and it's putting your life at risk. Otherwise, you don't fucking need it. You're just being fucking lazy. There's no green tea that will help, no lemon tea that will help. There's no other injection that will help. It's just money grabbing tactics. Leave the skinny tea and skinny coffee. It does fuck all. But those are your fundamentals. Your nutrition, your recovery, and your hydration. If you can help your external stressors, I'm sorry, I can't speak, I'm very tired. If you can help with your external stressors and get those in check, that will, in result, help with your recovery as well. So that's also part and part of the fundamentals. Exercise, again, is there to supplement that, and supplementation isn't needed unless you've got the first 4 in check. Fuck the skinny tea and coffees off. They do fuck all. Leave the Ozempic for the fuckers that need it, because there's diabetics out there that can't get stock. And leave the green tea at home unless you like it, which I don't know why you like it, because it's absolutely rank. Yeah. I really hope this helped. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. It's now 9:15 on the night. I'm very tired. I'm going to invest in a bigger whiteboard so I can actually stand and do some talking, because this is very small and it's hard to talk on camera with it. If you've got any other topics you'd like me to touch on, please let me know. I will revisit this when I've got a better whiteboard so I can go into it in more detail. But I hope this is suffice for now, and I hope it answers some of your questions. Let me know if you've got any other topics you'd like me to touch on, and I'll be more than happy to. Just don't send me into a rage, because I'll ramble for ages and nobody deserves that. Thank you for watching. If it helped at all, please like, please follow, please subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and it does help me out. Peace.